Hey, garage people. Coming back at you from not my girlfriend's garage, but a very cool garage. I'm here at DRM once again. Got my engine block in the trunk. Well, not in the trunk anymore. It's currently inside in the Washomatic 5000. Got it heated up and it is getting all cleaned off after I have completed the cylinder honing and the deburring and all that fun stuff. So I got that in there with my main caps, and when I pull it out, it will need some scrubbing, and then I'm going to set it in once more to rinse it off, and then I will spray it off with the hose, dry it off with the air hose, and we'll be done for the day. And that'll be one more step closer to assembling our motor. So I'm going to go back inside and pull that puppy out here shortly after I say hi to the crew. And yeah, I'll come back at you guys when I got the motor back in my garage, or rather my girlfriend's. And yeah, we'll have it back on the stand and go at it. Assembly wise, parts are coming today, tomorrow, and Friday. I think all of them will be here by Friday. Pistons are scheduled for tomorrow. So fun stuff. I'll catch you later. Hey garage people, out here in the middle of nowhere with the Grand Prix. Got the LS6 in the trunk, and I'm pulled over here because I'll turn you around. Nice oil spot right here on the side of the road, and there maybe is even, just looks like road debris and not car parts. But as you can see, that oil slick there, and maybe that, I'm not sure, but definitely this oil slick and that spot right there, those are the leavings of my LS1. Oh, so fun. Look at that. Good times, good times. Well, I'm gonna head back home, and we'll get this gal back alongside the garage and get the goodies out on the stand. Sweet. Hey garage people, coming at you with a little bit of an update here. You ever have all the parts in place to do the job, except for the motivation and the ambition? Yep, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Don't know why, it's just a lot. I've got, let's see, the cylinder heads, the bottom end, top end, trans, the intake, the exhaust, drive shaft, everything. I got all the stuff to put back together and then put in the car, and I am severely lacking motivation right now. So if you guys have any words of positivity, you can send them my way. Deadline is coming up. A week from today, I'd like to be at a car show, and yeah, my motor has no pistons in it, so we'll see. It's a self-imposed deadline, but a deadline nonetheless. Yeah, it's just one of those days, I guess. No complaints. Just, it is what it is. Yeah, hopefully I'll be picking up my cam, probably Monday, as it is now Saturday, and I talked to the guy yesterday, and it's repairable. That's the last piece, so I don't know. Maybe we'll find some midweek, inspiration. So, hey, keep on keeping on, folks. Sometimes the garage seems like an insurmountable task, but one piece at a time. Word. Hey, garage people. Good morning. It is a bright and early 6:15 a.m.-ish, and I'm hanging out in the garage this morning to get some stuff done before I have to go to track. So, trying to do a little due diligence here. There we go. Got the piston rings out. Gonna gap them. Get that out of the way. Block's all clean up and ready to go. Everything's clean up down here. Oil pan's ready. Valley cover's ready. Front and rear covers are ready. Pull out my ARP bolts. Put them in my connecting rods here. And I gotta head up north to Buffalo in about 2 hours or so. But we'll try to do a little bit of damage before then. Look at these. Cracked rod, LS1, SBC, high performance. Hopefully these will keep the parts inside this motor. Along with these nice chunky boys. Yeah, look at that. Alright, I'm going to put these in here, and I'm going to gap these for this. And I think that's probably all we'll accomplish today, but it's better than nothing. So, yeah, cool.
Here for a Feel Good Friday on ESPN. See you tomorrow. Okay, so whenever you said you had the ability to get a good name in the internet league, I think we didn't believe it. Legitimately, I don't think we believed it. Yeah, I assume we weren't the only ones. How was the survey process, which you are a survey person, in the modern world?
Hey, garage people. Coming back at you after a little bit of a hiatus. I've got parts, I've got motivation, and I am currently busy at work here in the garage. As you just saw, I've got my new piston rings gapped. I've got my intake all cleaned out and reassembled. There was a little crack in one of the runners, so I fixed that, and that's ready for the throttle body. It's all cleaned and ready to install. I got the wires here. Got these stripped back here, ready to fix with new tabs that will go back in this plug right here. That's for the wheel speed sensor, ABS, Pat McAfee show on the TV, of course. And yeah, I'm gonna lap my valves and get this. This is the passenger side cylinder head. I'll get this one back together. It is already. I touched up all the spots in the chambers. I got there's a little nick right there you can see. I'll hit that with the sandpaper just to take the edge off, and then I'll lap them in and clean them up, and then this head will be done, and then I can move over to the driver's side head, which the worst cylinder is this one, number 1. That'll require a little bit of polishing work, but you can see there's a couple little flaws right here that catch the light, but I sanded them down with the 400 grit and they don't even catch a fingernail. So I am very happy in saying that that will run just fine. So that's good. What else? Got all my parts in here. There's bearings in here. Yep, my Lingenfelter box is in there. That'll be the last thing to go in after the engine's already in, because then I can wire it to the computer and the clutch pedal and the nitrous system. What else? I've got the new seal to install on the rear end of the transmission here. You can see it was leaking a little bit out the bottom, so I just got a new one. I am only waiting on my pistons, the correct sized ones, because I accidentally ordered a 1/4 millimeter oversized because I'm dumb. And I'm also waiting on my camshaft. I talked to Buried Cam Repair in Buffalo the other day about it, and they were able to repair it. They had to make up a new master, which I think that just means copying down the dimensions of the lobes on the something like that here. Dimensions of the lobes of the cam, and then they will copy that when they weld up the busted lobes on the new ones, and then they'll have a baseline to grind it back down to, I think is how it works. So that was supposedly going to be ready. It is Thursday now, and that was supposedly going to be ready like last Saturday maybe, because they had a lot of stuff going on this week on Monday starting, but I don't have it yet, as she goes, so that's fine. No big deal. After I get the heads done, or the valves lapped in and cleaned up, the heads will be done. I can put my springs back in, which I have right here. Valve springs and keepers and retainers. Then the heads will be ready to install. And then I'm going to pop my cam bearings in there. And then I will, what am I going to do up there? Oh, I got my crankshaft leaning up over. And I'll measure all the numbers of the journals on that. And then I will put my bearings in my rods, which are in the box under the intake. And I will put my bearings in my main caps. And we'll measure our clearances. Then we can put the cam in and then the crank in, and we'll get going on the pistons. And then it all goes back together, yada, yada, yada. So, still a lot of stuff to do, but it's coming along, I guess. So, I've got to go to a track meet in a few hours here, so I'm going to attempt to get at least one of these cylinder heads done and put away before I have to go. And then hopefully I'll finish the other one tomorrow and put those cam bearings in. And then that'll be one step further. Once I have the cam, I can work on Sunday or Saturday, a little on Sunday. So, what's the date today? It is Thursday, May 8th. I mean, hopefully by the end of the month for sure. Obviously, I was hoping that like last month too. So, but yeah, we will be driving before long, you know, at some point. It is a gorgeous day out, and so I've kind of been getting the fire lit under my behind to get back out on the road. I've been seeing punks driving around in their whistly BMWs and their flashy little Fiestas and shit like that, and they just don't know. They don't even know. So I got more cylinders in the trunk than they got under the hood. So yeah, we got to get back on the road. I'm getting angsty. Yeah, until then, I think I'll load this up and post a status update episode, and I'll come back to you guys when the heads are done. See you then.
I want to watch the playoffs, but I mean, KD can fit anywhere. I mean, he obviously, you know, to me, second best scorer in the league right now. But I mean, he can go fit in any system and play any type of style. He shows that in Golden State, obviously.
Hey. Garage people, a little bit of an update here before I post this. Got the heads done. All the valves lapped, chambers polished, hot spots taken away, and the valves and springs reassembled. I have the checker springs on one cylinder so I can confirm push rod length and piston to valve clearance with the new engine and pistons once I get those in. And what else have I done? I will show you. I got the ARP rods, bolts all on the rods, but, of course, I think these bearings are not correct. So those are for an LS1, and I need them for the LS6, which is these are the Gen 4 design, so the camshaft bearings are a little bit wider. The rod bearings are a little bit wider as well. And pretty much everything else is about the same. I'm going to check the part numbers on these main bearings and see if they're crossed over, but I need to definitely order new cam bearings, or different cam bearings and different rod bearings. So those will be on the way soon. I'm going to send these back after I check the part numbers, and then I might be able to find something locally, so that would be pretty cool. So yeah, heads are done. This pile of parts is all ready to install. Oil pan, gaskets, windage tray, crank scraper. There's the front and rear cover sitting over there with the timing set. All those gaskets are in here. We got brakes right here, exhaust, drive shaft. The transmission just needs the new seal in it before we put that in, so that's ready to go. We got the clutch over there. So basically, I'm waiting on my pistons, and then I will get these new bearings, and then it's just assembly and off to the races. So, again, another little setback, but that's how she goes. So, I think that's probably all I'm going to do for the day. I will check those part numbers, and I got to glue a little nub on the bottom of the intake manifold there. That's just a little rubber supporter, and yeah, we'll probably hit it again. Looking like next week. It's Mother's Day this weekend, so we're going to get out and celebrate that. And hopefully some parts start coming in next week. and then I will probably inquire about my camshaft as well, which I have not gotten back yet. So, yeah, stuff's always in the works. Cut back later. Check it out. Hey, garage people. Sorry for the lack of uploads here. I have been working on things slowly but steadily, but it hasn't been very glamorous. It's just been kind of boring, and also it's the second time I've done it. So I promise this will be the last one before this video gets actually uploaded. If you see behind me there, turn you around. So, this is my LS6. Crankshaft is in. New bearings are in. Bolts are torqued and angle-fied. And if you'll check out this, this is the poor man's digital torque wrench with an angle finder. It's a breaker bar and a protractor with some duct tape on it. What you do is torque all of these to 15 pounds, and then you go through and do the inner studs to 80 degrees and the outer ones to, or the inner bolts to 80 degrees and the outer bolts to 53 degrees. And so what I did is after they were all torqued to 15, I just put my wrench on, you know, wherever it would be, and then I zeroed out my my protractor, and then I would just pull it to either 80 degrees or just a hair over 50, 53-ish. And definitely not rocket appliances, Ricky, but, you know, I think it'll probably be good enough for the girls we date. Specifically the one girl whose garage I'm in. But she'll appreciate the joke. Oh, man. As you can see, there is nothing in here. And just as importantly, there's nothing in here. I'm going to call the cam shop about my cam today, and I'm hoping to be able to pick it up by Friday, because my standard bore LS6 replacement pistons are on the way, as well as the correct design, second design, Gen 1, actually no, let me rephrase that. It is second design, generation 3/4 small block Chevrolet cam bearing. So these cam bearings that fit in here are slightly different than the cam bearings that would fit in here. Not that I'd reuse these bearings, they went through the engine, you know, that exploded, so there's some metal in there, but these actually look pretty darn good. But that's not the point. The point is that this bearing, this bearing, this bearing, and this bearing are slightly different. The center one is the same, but the end ones are 20 thousandths larger on the OD, same ID, of course, to fit the same cam, but the end ones are 20 thousandths larger on the OD, and positions 2 and 4 are 10 thousandths larger, 9 to 10 thousandths. So, yeah, just big enough that you can't use them. So, this is my, you know, fallen soldier for reference. I guess it might be kind of cool to point out, like, the very slight differences between LS1s and LS6s right now. So if you're looking down the crank journal right there, you can see that this whole web is solid. And on the LS6, that web has, let's see, yeah, right there, a little vent. That's for bay-to-bay breathing. Supposedly it improves windage and exhaust scavenging. And also, you can see this block is way rougher on the outside than this one. This one looks darn near polished comparatively. And I believe that is because they are casted differently. This is cast aluminum, and I can't remember the exact methodology, how they do it. I can't remember what it's called. But this is also cast aluminum, and it is sand cast. Each mold has its own, or each individual block has its own sand mold that it gets poured into. And then you can see the individual stamping numbers on there. So this is definitely 150% an LS6 block, and that is 150% an LS1 block. And this is a 2001 car, so that makes sense, even though some people will say that, oh, mine came stock with an LS6 block. 2001s did not. Maybe the 2002s, but not 2001s. So yeah, crank is in, everything is torqued. I have my rods here all assembled with bearings in them. I have all my measurements from my crank and my rod journals on my crankshaft that's in there. I have measured a few of these. This one came out perfect, just over 3 thou clearance, which I'm running a little loose, and I'm going to run some higher weight oil, so that's perfect. So I'll check 1 or 2 more of these just for posterity's sake. I've got some Plastigauge in these main journals right now, so I will pop this crank out and check those for verification. And then I might retorque a couple to run my bore gauge through them to have some solid numbers as well. But, I mean, I do have my other set of bearings here if need be, but I really don't want to pop these open because this is like 130 bucks worth of bearings, and these are like 130 bucks worth of bearings. So I'm going to return those because I hopefully won't need them. So, yeah, pretty cool. I'm going to pop this crank out of here, and hopefully our numbers will match up with what we want. And if that's the case, then all this stuff comes back out. The block will go back up on the rack, or on the toolbox here, because then I'm waiting for my cam bearings, which are on the way. I've got Mitch's tool here, which I'll smash those in with. Lovingly and gently, of course, I'll smash them in with. And yeah, then let's see, I'll get those cam bearings, smash those in. I'll have my pistons so I can assemble them on the rods up there. And then once I have my cam, I can put that in, because that's the first step to building a good small block Chevy, is putting in the cam, because if you put the cam in before the crank, you can keep the engine upside down and reach your little hands all the way through down to the cam journal down there. And hold the cam journal by, so it goes through each bearing, you know, one by one, and there's no galling or scarring of the bearings. So that's the best way to do it. Cam first, everything else after. And that's what I'm going to do. So, yeah, I'm going to put this down, and I will come back at you guys when we verify our clearances here. And then I'm going to compile this video and get things posted. So, sweet. Final update before posting, garage folks. Crankshaft is back out. Everything is all spec'd. Rods are good to go. And so is the block. The moral of the story, or the end results rather, are oversized main bearings for extra oil clearance, but standard rod bearings, and they came out perfect. All of my rods that I measured and checked were just over 3 thou clearance, which is slightly on the loose side, but I'm going to run those ARP fasteners and thicker oil. And all of my mains came to, let's see, yeah, there's the ODs of the crank, there's the IDs of the bearing, and here's the Plastigauge results. So according to the ID-OD measurements, it's a little over 1 thou. And according to the Plastigauge, it's about 1.5 thou, which is on the tight side. So I'm going to run the 1 thou over, so there'll be about 2.5 thou. And I'll take that up with the thicker oil, and we will be off to the races. So I'm going to pull these mains out, pull those ones out, and package them up here. And then I can't return them because they've been opened, so I'll see if anyone else wants them to sell. And then I'll put these oversized ones in there, and then we'll be good when our cam comes in. So yeah, I'm going to post this and get moving. I'll keep you guys up to date.